that is Mirage for Entropiq versus TeamOne. Let's crack on.
We are ready to go, and it's Mirage heading into the foyer. First, Entropiq, they'll start out on that CT side. They've got, obviously, actually going for 5 sets of just Kevlar here. No real utility put up at all for Entropiq, as TeamOne, they've just gone for the armor as well. They do have PRT with a flashbang and a smoke that has been deployed now towards the connector position, but Krad in towards lower.
Yes.
Oh, that's beautiful from Krad with the USP. Gets himself a cheeky double. Elian's chiming in, and it's all going right for Entropiq here. Just takes the Deo left, and oh. There was a knife attempt. It doesn't come through, though.
I like it. Shows balls, shows character, and it's a really good start for Entropiq as well. I think I'd be happy with a pistol round like that, where you get Krad going completely unchecked. Also help out from Elian to finish the job. And I gotta say, good, clean round. Entropiq don't lose too many people, and as a result, TeamOne are now relegated somewhat to this pistol buy. They are being conservative here, Dan, with this second round approach by not going too crazily aggressive with it. You're going to see just Glocks going in here. So I'd imagine that the next round will be all out for the AKs. But for now, they're going to be sacrificing round number 2, I'd imagine, because Entropiq have got everything they need. And in fact, they've gone with a pretty aggressive buy of their own. A1Ss and the rest are all kitted up, aside from Forrester, who's going to be out there on the MP9, the only SMG in play. So a very expensive buy coming out, and Elian is already pretty on form to capitalize.
Ooh. But the AUG for PRT has been able to respond back with another. So now 2 kills found by this TeamOne side, and you gotta wonder, is it gonna be able to snowball for the Brazilians here, or are Entropiq gonna be able to put a pin in it? Also with the MP9, probably gonna be a big factor in this one. If you can get a couple kills over towards his B site, he can certainly put it right into Entropiq's wheelhouse yet again. But one and done, I think that's not going to be enough for him. And as he gets fully blinded up, he was going to get checked by SNS. SNS, and he doesn't even find anything at all. Elian responds back with 2 quick on the 3 frags, but doesn't expect PRT jumping up on top of the van. Another great shot from him with this AUG that's been recovered and is being used expertly by the Brazilian, as now trying to push forward. It's just Krad alone. 1 versus 2. Neither of them have armor. Krad does, and he has a kit, so he has a little bit of extra time to work with. He pushes further and further into sight, has no idea where they could have gone to now. He's obviously going to expect backside. A few shots ring past his cheek. But he's all right for now as he tries to push further and further around. Gets the first fight onto Maluk, spots the second, and will win out the fight there as well. And with the defuse kit, as I said, a little bit of extra time. He will get that bomb defused and save Entropiq in this round. But yeah, needed more towards that B site from Forrester on the MP9.
Holy
that
moly,
put around in such an awkward position.
I don't even think it's Forrester's fault, to be honest, on the MP9 there. Losing that first frag with the P250, I'm not quite sure who it was onto. I might want to say it was onto Nickelback, but it gave over the AUG to the TeamOne side, and from that they were just able to massively capitalize on things. The flashbangs going into the B site as well to completely blind up Forrester. It just left them in such an awkward spot, and that is the opposite of what Entropiq were wanting here, as they have now just been shut down on their attempts to inflate and grow an economy. 4 lots of reinvestments from a full eco from TeamOne. That is just so hard to swallow, but they will be able to contend in this round at the very least. Still sporting 1 FAMAS on Lackey, but aside from that, they're still going to be fighting fit as Maluk looks to try and get something done in towards the ladder room, has the opportunity to try and take a frag onto Lackey and will do so, takes him down and finds the 4-on-5. Big advantage to Ghana now as only Forrester remains over at this B site and over towards the bench. Maluk has relieved him of his head, leaving this B site pretty much to falter and fall now as Elian and the rest of the gang go over towards A. Will have a mystery to try and solve, but unfortunately, they're not going to be able to do it. They're not going to get away with it today because these meddling kids on TeamOne are right in and ready. Entropiq on the save call. This has not been a comfortable first 3 rounds for them.
Nice shots from Maluk there. getting his team that advantage, getting them the first gun round coming through. And for Entropiq, they'll keep those rifles alive. And hopefully be able to find something this next round. They're not really going to have any cash to play with. It's only really Nickelback who has anything that might be able to drop. Maybe like a FAMAS or like maybe an M4A1S, something like that. But you can still find damage. If you get just one kill, be able to snowball off the back of that by getting a 4th weapon on the board, that can assist. And actually, do go for a FAMAS drop for Forrester. Lucky's just going to be left on a Deagle. That's all you have to work with, alongside those saved weapons. So it's definitely a compromise buy. Definitely not going to be able to sort of match up toe for toe against TeamOne. But the Brazilians and, of course, the Guatemalan in the form of Malbs, ready for the challenge, and Pesadeo has already found that opening kill, George.
Yeah, nice, good opening as well, and one that's much needed. I mean, obviously, whenever you get these kind of buys coming in from Entropiq here, where they're not really sporting their best kit, got to be a little bit hesitant to see if they're going to be able to pull something back that you're not necessarily anticipating. And once again, it's been a really clean take from TeamOne here, only losing one player in the process. That's PRT, leaving these 2 remaining players. Once again, Alien, but Crad this time to hit the save call along with him. Whilst this hasn't really been a fun start for Entropiq, it's going to be a lot worse in the next round. I don't think they can really justify any further buying, but a nice shot, flashbang combination from Elian to open things up on this defense to try and keep these weapons alive. They are being hunted, so any and all frags here are extremely valuable, and Crad is surely going to clean up both of these 2. So if that would have been in a retake situation, really good for Entropiq. But as it is, they'll get away with 2 AK-47s, which I suppose is upgrades abundancy. And TeamOne, maybe not too wise on their financial choices here, are going to have to reinvest now for 5 players when they had the opportunity to bolster their economy quite strongly there with 4 players remaining alive. But they chuck all those weapons away on the hunt. They will still get the AWP up irrespective of that. We'll have to see what Entropiq are able to muster here on a buy of their own. And then once again, it is going to be Lackey relegated down to that Deagle, Dan. Really the most enjoyable of times for him at the moment. Kind of playing that second fiddle support role to the rest of his teammates who are more deserving of that utility and weaponry at the time being. But this is a must-win now for Entropiq. If they lose here, then they'll be in some dire straits. And if they don't get any saves out of it, if things do go south, it'll be looking a whole lot worse, and they have to be somewhat respectful of the threat of the AWP here.
Right now, early presence towards A. It's a great turn from Nickelback. XNS not going to be able to find what he hoped for there. PRT and Maluk finally answering back the call for TeamOne, but Elian with the AUG is just going to shut them down towards an A site, and it's all up towards PRT. Elian already dropping down into underground as well to try and catch a rotation, but PRT will have definitely heard that. Can maybe find the shot, but no. Elian's just on another level. 9 kills from already so far in this game. Same for Crad. They are working well in tandem right now, him and Crad, and now Entropiq, a 3rd on the board. A good round to pick up, as it does actually break TeamOne's economy. And that's the sort of hand you're dealt if you're TeamOne when you give up the 5 players chasing those kills in the last round to try and take those weapons away. You end up yourself hindering your own footsteps, like putting a nail through your own foot.
Yeah, shooting yourself in the foot with your own holster still attached, I suppose, is what you'd call that one. For TeamOne, not really thinking too far ahead. They're all about the here and now, Dan. They're here for a good time, not a long time.
Well, yeah.
Is the expression there, you know?
Yeah, they're both out in groups, so it's not going to be a long time.
Not going to be a long time. But you and you party animal, you can absolutely account for that. But,
of course.
I know how much you like your sessions, but unfortunately, the session here for TeamOne inside the ramp is going to be all but over very quickly. And that is huge amounts of cash for the limited investment of Crad there with the MP9. That's now 3 frags found upon all of that. Forrester not going to let Pesadeo get anything done, and Malbs will soon follow suit. And that is the opposite of what you want from TeamOne there. Like, you want them to at least try and keep something alive in that to offset the problem they had with hunting down those two players in round number 4, I believe it was. And now 2 rounds later, they are absolutely broken, and Entropiq have all the money in the world to now try and build their economy up. They've got 5 rifles, 3 of which, in fact, are AK-47s, 1 AUG on Elian, and he's obviously not even got the AWP in his hand yet, and he's already looking terrifying. So this is already quite a threatening position to be in if you're the Brazilian side, on your own map pick, no less. And that HE grenade is not going to help matters. Pesadeo no longer going to be too happy about being the point man on this entry to the B side.
But George, it's Glocks.
Glocks!
And a single P250 on XNS. It should be an absolute shutdown, and Pesadeo, although he doesn't want to be the first entry into the site, he's still taken down first as Forrester grabbed himself a couple.
Oh,
but
dear.
kills in response. Catching a couple players. It was all a ruse with Maluka over towards the palace, and he wants to try and get the bomb planted, but there's no
Poor
chance.
Guy. Poor guy. He was not making it out of there, was he? Just hellfire raining down all around him. But thankfully now for TeamOne, their woes are over, at least temporarily. They will now have a buyback in hand. Not too sure whether they're going to be able to do anything with it based off of recent form, as now everyone on Entropiq, aside from Elian for some unknown reason, is going to pick up their kits as well to make their chances of winning this next round all the better for them.
Elian's just a Chad.
He is. He doesn't need
Look at him
kits.
in that picture. Oh,
Yeah,
Chad.
he's got some real swagger about him, doesn't he? I think he knows he's a bit good at Counter-Strike, and I think his teammates do too, as they give him the opportunity to get the first frag, but Crad will happily take that one away with a quick spam through the smoke. I think there's a litany of smokes over in middle, but Crad is not slowing down. 14 frags for him so far, with Forrester grabbing one more. Some unwarranted mid-aggression potentially coming out, but XNS on 1 HP is not long for this world, and Nickelback will shut the round down. So 6-2, Dan. Unfortunately for TeamOne, they're left in a pretty dire situation once more.
Yeah.
This is not looking too pretty for the Brazilians right now.
The situation doesn't worry me as much as the sort of body language, if you could say that, from the Entropiq side.
Yeah.
In a round like that, where they just are balling it through mid. They just don't care right now. They feel confident. They are loving it right now. Elian's 10-1. Crad is 15-1. Like, come on. This is a little outrageous, and already a bit of nade damage done towards PRT as well. Elian's just going to run it up mid. He is just so done with this game already. And we're only on the first map, George. This is TeamOne's map pick as well.
This is not the start that TeamOne were looking for by any means. Entropiq are going to want to start to run away with this one if they can, and they're going to be given the opportunity here in this round. It should be a write-off for them, as there's no real threat apart from XNS's Deagle taking down Crad. And to be fair, that's a good person to take down, because Crad's doing quite well, but, you know, not enough. And then finally it comes, Dan, the timeout. Time to just calm down and discuss. What do you think's going through the heads of TeamOne at the moment?
Balls.
Oh, damn.
Oh, balls. What do we do here? Oh, bother. We've really got ourselves in a pickle, haven't we?
We really have scuppered our plans here, fellows. I think one thing that's also quite cool to point out is that Elian has been alive for a good number of rounds in a row now. And look at the amount of money he's managed to accrue. And at this point, right, still not wanting the AWP, just rolling it with the AUG for now.
Yeah. Why change a good thing? It's allowing him to be a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more flexible. He's got the scope, so he still feels like a zoomy boy.
Those zoomers. Those damn zoomers.
Sure.
Oh, go on again. Do it again. Give us some more. Okay. I think one thing that's also quite alarming here for TeamOne is that nobody's really activated from the TeamOne side yet. I guess they haven't really had too many chances to do so. I mean, XNS has been getting a good few frags on these eco rounds, but they are inconsequential. Like we mentioned before the game, you want Mouths to be doing well. You want Maluk to be doing well. And right now, neither of those players are particularly lighting my eyes on fire. So I'm going to be real with you, Dan. Entropiq look like they have got some pretty quick and forthcoming entropy, and that entropy is not slowing down. It is perpetual motion at this point. They're driving one direction, that direction's forward.
Just to point out as well, in all situations where Entropiq win this matchup, Furia do not go through.
Oh, okay.
Unless Furia win themselves.
So there is something to play for here, I suppose, for their brothers in arms in Brazil.
Yeah. Unless, of course, Furia wins themselves, and then it's all a moot point, and Furia safely locked in to that playoffs position. But a nice round coming through from TeamOne. Finally, Alien's able to find something, but it's just so little as it leaves Forrester in a 1 versus 4, make it a 1 versus 3. But they can't to X finesse as might finally be a third for TeamOne with a nice orchestrated execute in towards that A site, forcing back the Entropiq players and able to take them down pretty well as well. Some great clean kills coming through.
It was clean. I suppose that's the saving grace there is clean. But already, you know, 3 players surviving, you're going to want a bit more than that. And I don't think after their previous endeavors, they're going to be particularly inclined to be hunting down Entropiq players anymore.
No.
I think that one's, I think they've learned their lesson there. You know, like, as a kid, you're like, oh, look, well, maybe this isn't something that people do actually. I don't know, I'm clutching at straws here, but like, as a kid, you see fire, you're like, I'm going to touch it. And then you burn yourself and you're like, not going to touch that anymore. You've been conditioned, boys, classically conditioned. It's not going to happen. Not going for that hunt anymore. But one thing that's interested me at the very least, is Aliens on the AWP. Here we go.
There we go.
The train has left the station.
I think it was just because he didn't die.
Yeah, no need to upgrade if you're not dying, is there?
Yeah. But he has it now. 12 and 2 for him. 15 and 3 for Crad still. Looking pretty hot to trot, not going to lie. TeamOne need to try and get some rounds through here. Just build up a bit of confidence and try and break through what's left of this Entropiq economy, because there's not massive amounts left. They can probably figure up another buy if they lose this one, especially if they're able to save a weapon or two. But that's a great kill from PRT. Just to open things up towards that A site. Crad, he's had a great game, but can't find that shot there. I mean, PRT is pushing it alone. Does have assistance from the AWP further back, but over towards B is where the action's really going on, as PRT continues to be a nuisance over at that A site. The B hit's been completely crumpled. A minute on the clock, they still have time to work with. They're going to send it back over towards that A site, the site which is secure, mostly just because of PRT. Oh, that could have been it, George. That could have been the kill that actually wins this round out. Unfortunately for Forrester, not going to get it. Forces PRT back, though, and Lackey will convert. So they've managed to turn it into a 2-on-2. It doesn't last for too long as Maluk on the AWP slides on in. Catches Lackey, and now it's Forrester against 2. 10 kills to his name. Nade comes flying on in. That has chunked him down, but he spots one going towards the Palace. That's info. And now he knows where the second player is as well. How does he play this? Because they're not going to peek him. He's going to be the one that has to make the money moves here to try and get Entropiq onto an 8th. Maybe could just go for a save. He's been given a couple of opportunities, though. Not hitting. And finally, Maluk will silence him.
I'll tell you what, that wallbang was nearly the biggest brain thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it did a little damage, just a little too...
I think he got the goosh noise or heard the blood splatter off of it, and that's why Forrester was able to come in and clean that kill up. But still, like, come on. How big brain is that? I've never even seen that wallbang. Well, I've seen it, but I've never seen it like actually pay off before.
No. I've seen it with an AWP.
Yeah.
But from the other side, where you get the guy on top of cinder
when people are
blocks.
saving, yeah, I've seen it for that, but not from the other way around. That's very smart. And I think it's a bit of thought process being like, okay, so we know that we've lost the A site. Now, if I was holding the A site from the T side whilst waiting for the bomb to get in there, where would I want to be sat? And that's probably one of the places I'd want to be. You're cutting off window, ladder room, and murder hole all at one swift motion. So, I've got to say, that's the big brain from Entropiq there. But yes, TeamOne finally with a bit of a resurgence. The AWP is still in play here for Aliens, so it's not all over yet. This will be the last buy that Entropiq have if this round does go astray. The Brazilians looking to drew some big mid-aggression once more. I haven't really seen too much out of them on this. Last time it was a bit of a split between A and B, and A was more successful of the two, despite that not being the intended location. So with a little bit of mid-pressure, it can be a big thing. Already 4 players scattered around this mid-zone. Entropiq have quite happily conceded it. They're going to hanker down in back of the site. In fact, they're actually gaining a fair amount of territory here. You can see over towards ramp. You've got number 3 and number 4 on your minimap, which is correlating to Nickelback and Crad. And they've both just big-brained it. They're just going to sit in here and wait for something to happen because it's not really an anticipated position.
Elian flashbanged off the angle. Could be a big factor if he was able to stick around as they pushed up through connector, but forced off. He's going to take a different position, and now this crunch starts to come in. Elian needs to be careful of his timing here. The flashbang.
Oh, bomb.
There's a few places look the other way, but that's the bomb spotted, as you say. And now Nickelback comes into effect as well from ramp, and now this A site, which was certainly looking like a pretty nice prospect earlier on, suddenly gets a bit more difficult. They've annihilated Elian, removed that threat, finally getting rid of Nickelback as well, but they're taking a lot of casualty. And now Maluk down to
Look
just
for
1
Crad.
HP as well. And yeah, Crad up on top of Wood as well. Should have had the kill onto Molbs. Not sure what happened there. Does get it this time of asking, and it should be the round with Maluk on just one. There you go. Entropiq, eighth on the board. A little bit of an awkward round coming through there in a few regards. Players just scattered in all different directions, and nobody really knew what was going on.
I do like Crad's play, though. He was the insurance policy inside of that round. Obviously, I mentioned earlier on that he was pushing in towards ramp with Nickelback's assistance. And then when they realized that the play was coming in through mid and with absolutely no presence through ramp, they were quite happy to send him through on the rotation. But they just had to be sure about that Palace player the entire time. You're not going to hit A exclusively through connector. So there's got to be a second prong to this attack. And once they figured out that it was Palace, they were quite happy to send him round to ensure the quality and the outcome. And I've got to say, it was good presence of mind to let TeamOne have middle so early, but Elian is not going to let this one falter so quickly this time. He's been massively utility pushed out here, but unfortunately none of them have really deterred him. He still seems extremely focused on this mid position. It's something he really doesn't want to lose. More damage being inflicted as Malbs has made his presence felt. Mid has unfortunately fallen to Pesadeo. Now I'm not too sure whether they're going to be aware of this. Nickelback seems to look like he's got somewhat of an idea about what's going on. This looks to be a bit of an A execute in the offering here.
Oh, Elian. Fully blinded. Doesn't need his eyes. Doesn't need his eyes. Unfortunately, his team definitely need them because they've been annihilated by this TeamOne offense. And finally, Elian's removed. Maluk the man to do so. Good kills coming through, but Forrester could still be an opportunity, and Lackey's got the lineup. Lackey has the lineup. He's just letting his teammate call for when that bomb's being planted and just rings one through. And it nails. Free kill. Bomb plant denied. Forrester needs to be wary of this CT aggression, though. And it seems like he maybe had an inkling, but he's just not got enough of the thonks to predict pace of Deo. Now it's Lackey all alone, and Maluk perfectly baited in with that. TeamOne find a fifth. They're not completely out of this one. They've managed to grab a few rounds here. They've managed to sort of push Entropiq in all the right places, and now they'll get rewarded with another round against just pistols.
Finally broken. It's been a while since we've seen Entropiq in this position, as a matter of fact, but they're going to be taking a force buy here, as a matter of fact, so they're going to force out the final 2 rounds of the half anyway. Loss bonus will be stacking up a fair amount, so currently on $1,900, so next round will be a little bit higher, I think. 2,100. Even with all that, Entropiq not going to be deterred. They've already secured victory in this half, Dan. 8-7 is the best outcome that TeamOne can look for. And with Entropiq already being on 8, there's no way that they can lose, I suppose, at this juncture. I think Crad is actually trying to block the smoke there, but unfortunately hasn't quite gone according to plan. The gap that he was looking for isn't quite there, at least on this side of the server. That could have been a swift eagle shot that Forrester could have found, but unfortunately it doesn't quite connect, and now he realizes all too soon that the B site is the point of contact here for TeamOne. Crad doing what he can to try and stay alive, but unfortunately the damage that he inflicts is not quite enough. Elian now on the AK that he's managed to recover, and they all fall in tandem. It is Molbs to be the judge, jury, and executioner as Nickelback flanking on him with the MP9. 1 versus 3 has already made his presence known and doesn't even do a tickling of damage. I think that might be the save call right there.
Might just be. The all-in from Entropiq doesn't pan out. And that's what we like to see. Teams able to sort of deal with and remove the threats in rounds like this. Obviously, a couple kills did come through, maybe another one here. There you go. MP9 getting a little bit of success. He's even not able to upgrade into the AK, but where's he save? Is he okay here? He is.
Just about.
Yeah. That's a nice little bit of smarts there from Nickelback. Not trying to escape through short when he hears the players already pushing towards that murder hole. Knows he'll probably get shot in the back if he tries to go that way. So takes up position in the ladder room and just saves it out, waits out the time, and there you go. Free AK. That's pretty good. 3 kills and an AK. You'll probably take that if you were asked at the start of the round. Will you accept 3 kills and saving an AK? Most teams would probably say yes.
Yeah, I mean, trade offer. I receive a round. You receive 3 kills and an AK.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's the best trade deal in the history of trade deals, but I don't think it's a bad one by any means. But it will mean here that in this final round of the half, they are not going to be the same team they were earlier on in this map. They don't have the finances to really support that. No AUG or AWP for Elian. And no real rifle potency for Crad either, which is going to be a piece of highlights to show to you guys. But even still, Entropiq, I suppose, happy enough with the outcome so far. And if they can secure a sneaky little round here, then they'll be even happier because it gives them that comfortable 3-round buffer to make a mistake in the pistol. Not that they would be wanting to, but just in case it does happen.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Miles now given up his position known in an HE grenade just to make him feel that one a little bit more as he's down to 55 HP. Still, the mid pressure is going to be relieved somewhat here as here comes the needle to burst the bubble. Pesadeo looking to try and make his way out through underpass just to try and get a little bit of information. I think more than anything here with the current lineup for TeamOne, they're looking to try and angle themselves back into this B site where I've got to say they have found considerable success so far. But not all over, I suppose. Still a 5 versus 5. It's probably the least bloody round we've seen from these two teams so far. There's been a lot of instances where they have gone quite some time into it with all the frags happening all at once, but it is Nickelback with the AK that was saved over, and so far he's done big damage, already taken down one, and a second does fall with his assistance, but he now needs to rotate on in on 14 HP. He can't be long for this world, but his teammates are getting it all on, done and sorted. It is 9-6, Dan. What a half we've just seen.
What a half. We'll be back after this short break with the second half, so don't go anywhere.
Seems like I can't get away from the hot sun. Always night and never day. Even when I wash the floor, the dust still comes. Keep on hoping for the bread. No matter Need no light, no spark, I'm in line mode. With my eyes closed, I can see in the dark, I'm a quiet storm. Far from calm, I know you feel me, brother. Seems like I can't get away from the hot sun. Always night, it's never day. Even when I watch the floor, the dust will come. Keep on hunting for the prey. No matter how lost, need no light, no spark, I'm in line mode. With my eyes closed, I can see in the dark, I'm a quiet storm. Far from calm, I know you feel me, brother.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Entropiq versus TeamOne. Map number 1 of Mirage taking place here. Not that this game really means much for both of these two teams, but it could have some bearing for Furia as TeamOne look to try and help out their brothers in arms, their compatriots. But unfortunately, they're not doing too hot here on their map pick. 9-6 for Entropiq in the first half as they now move over to the T side, sorry. My name's Buffers. I'm joined by Dan Chan to take you through the action here for Mirage at the least. So here we go. Blackie already making contact over towards B, Dan. And Entropiq still feeling good after a strong first half.
Very strong first half. Faltered a little bit later on, but 9 on the board still. A great turnaround from them on the CT side of TeamOne's map pick here. They gotta feel like they'll be feeling pretty quiet or quietly confident about this. They do have Crad boost up into that window as they start their approach in towards this A site. He'll just be looking to try and catch rotations. Nobody is going to be coming, though. And it's going to just be an all-out brawl towards this A site. 4 defenders, one of which now removed. Make it 2 by Elian. Oh, he can't quite get more. But it's all up towards Maluk and PRT. A 1 versus 2 now as Crad. He finally chimes in. He swings in from the jungle and he takes Maluk out of action. Allows Elian clear rain in towards the site. 3 kills for him in the round as PRT tries to take his head off, but won't hit that first shot. Bomb dropped in the open. Makes life a little bit more difficult for the Russian side. Crad has it offered up to him there. Close range with the Glock. You ain't going to miss many chances like that one.
I don't think you are. And that is easy peasy lemon squeezy for Entropiq as they take both pistol rounds in this game, which is going to give them a huge platform, a big springboard to now try and launch their second half into the stratosphere against TeamOne. If they can break their back here in this Deagle round and Scouts that the TeamOne side have purchased up in, they've force bought into the second round, which is standard operating procedure on the CT side at least. And they're going to be looking quite happy for a 3-0 start. But there is going to be a slight fly in the ointment, and that fly is Maluk. He's already tagged up Lackey with that first shot, taking him down to 30 HP, and now leaving him somewhat more susceptible to these Deagles for an opening. So Entropiq need to readjust their approach here as Maluk does the same. Unfortunately, smoked off at the window, and those plans will have to be squandered for the time being. Entropiq, again, reevaluating, reassessing, redistributing their assets, and it looks to be they're going to move back on over to a more traditional A-site hit.
I like traditional. Traditional's familiar. It's comfortable. We'll see if Lackey is going to be comfortable with this MAC-10 as he starts his aggression in. Elian and Lackey have already taken quite a heap of damage as they start their approach in towards the site, but it's Forrester who gets the opening kill. Nice one onto XNS with that Galil. Makes good use of the range advantage against these pistols as now he's just looking to provide a little bit of Overwatch for his team. Bomb to get planted. Shouldn't be anybody to really deny that one. PRT just nailed one with a deagle. At least find some damage. Scout could find more as well. There you go. Pacer, Deo, PRT finding kills, leaving it into a 2-on-2. They could actually potentially win this one out. There's guns on the floor they can pick up. Brad, if he gets this shot, it might all be over. And there you go. But actually, PRT getting the scout shot onto Forrest as well. Definitely a costly round. I don't think it's going to matter too much. That Molotov does make life a little bit more difficult for Crad. And actually, he's just burning.
I don't think there's time,
PRT no time, though, yeah. But huge amounts of damage from the TeamOne side. PRT gets 4 kills in all of that, George. I mean, I was counting them out. I was sort of a little bit stunned when they just started racking up these frags. A few over-aggressive peaks from Entropiq a little bit, giving some kills away. Not what you really want. You want these sort of rounds to come through cleanly. You now have another chance to do so, but obviously the AK in the mix is going to make life a little bit more difficult for you.
Yeah, what you thought should be a pretty clean third round, for them against just pistols, they're now going to be slightly more compromised as they've had to reinvest, and as a result of that, the guns aren't really there for them as of yet. Still sporting a Galil, still sporting 2 MAC-10s to try and make up the numbers, but for TeamOne, they need to keep this AK in play for as long as they can, and unfortunately, it's already gone right as soon as I say it. And this should be a third frag approaching here. Forrester inside of middle, but it's actually Maluk able to get the dink, and then as a result, the frag now stealing away the AK. XNS should be able to pick up the AK off of his teammate as well. So that's 2 rifles recovered for the CT side here. So you got to say, when you come into a round with a full eco, this is not the worst thing that you hope for, really. This is quite happy, but yeah, that might dislodge XNS. Oh no, never mind.
Miss Molly.
NA Molly, NA Molly. And ironically enough, should actually cost the frag, I believe, here, as I don't think there's going to be too many more ways in which Entropiq can get these AKs out of their hands. Maluk with the off angle, just ready to try and pick the head of anyone who comes in. And the flashbang isn't quite deep enough that it works. Is as intended. Maluk ready for this one, and maybe even a second here. So don't do your impression of TeamOne from the first half, Entropiq. Don't give away all your rifles trying to hunt down 2 players. Thankfully, you're going to hold on. Temper the aggression at just 2. And as a result, you'll slide out the round with 12 now on the board, keeping 2 rifles in play, and now hoping that you can get a decent buy to contend with the double AWP setup coming in here from TeamOne.
And they actually managed to take down XNS as well just before the timer ticks over. So that's only the 1 rifle saved. XNS has to fully invest into this next round, which is nice for Entropiq, especially considering the 2 weapons you sort of threw at them. They were just the MAC-10s. You were planning on upgrading anyway, but that's a great opening from Maluk. Aggressive towards mid, towards the window, catches Lackey as Entropiq wanting to try and find some aggression of their own. And they get punished. But the scoreboard are still highly in favor of the Entropiq side. Malbs. Bottom Marlin. Oh, the jumps. They're still going to go for it. Alien's watching for it now, and there's the kill going Entropiq's way. The flashbang coming through as well as Nickelback pushes from that close angle, switching into the AWP. It's just an absolute catastrophe towards the B site from TeamOne. In your first gun round, that's really not what you want to be doing. Now a 2v4, that's... especially with the man advantage as well. You have the man advantage. Why are you going for a play like that? I mean, I don't mind that the play of jumping up on the cinder blocks, but you messed it up twice. The Entropiq side heard that. They were waiting for you to jump up. And you got obliterated. Come on. Brother.
That is, yeah, not great. Easy read, I suppose you say, but because you had all the information available to you for the Entropiq side, maybe it's a lot easier. Maybe TeamOne just want to give them a freebie before they activate sicko mode in the second half or something. I don't know. Maybe go Ultra Instinct.
Yeah.
To bring this one back, but I'm really not sure what the intention was there. To be honest, after you mess that up once, I really feel like it's just time to just abort mission, get back to the site, hold on for as long as you can. Oh, and it just goes from bad to worse here. They've gone for a little bit of his half investment. and already losing the first frag into this round over towards the A site leaves that one greatly unfortified, as there is some further aggression up towards B. But I think now that that's been realized, you can see on the minimap the bomb's just instantly rotating out. It's going to be making its way towards that A site as soon as possible, and obviously Forrester needing to be the first point of contact here. He needs to get his eye in quickly just to make sure there is nobody who can potentially upset the apple cart. Malbs has repositioned himself quite effectively, as a matter of fact, just to hold in here. As much as there might be some utility in his face, he might be well positioned for a quick old retake. Tries to get ahead of the smoke as well, and will do so successfully, but they're going to take their time on this push here for Entropiq, and I think they're in the right to do so. They're just taking their time, making sure they've covered all their bases, and thankfully, I think it should be a relatively clean take, as Pesadeo finds himself the last man standing with the MP9, still doing good damage, but it's not going to last all that long. The AWP will be still on Alien, and yeah, the damage is good though, Dan.
Those are 2 nice kills. The MP9, obviously $600 per kill on that weapon. It's limited the Entropiq economy. I mean, obviously still got Alien like $8,000 before purchasing. But one thing to note as well, just before we get into the next round, TeamOne, if you want to say they want to help out their team or their country in the form of Furia, the only chance that Furia gets through, if they don't win the match against Liquid, is if TeamOne and Gambit both win. That's the only other way if Furia lose for them to get through to playoffs.
And based on their first map, they're looking like that might be the case, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was 16-4 to Team Liquid, so no real competition offered up there.
Yeah. It was a tough first map. It was Liquid's map pick, so maybe Furia will be able to answer back on the second map. But right now, Entropiq certainly looking to try and take away the TeamOne map pick of Mirage here. Remember, TeamOne picked this map, and Entropiq looking so rock solid on it right now.
Oh,
nice
okay.
opening from PRT though. There's where the boost works. When you don't fluff it up a few times first. As now, these players in towards mid having a bit of a crunch on from these CT players. They do manage to deal with the aggression decently. They get themselves a 3-on-3. That's pretty good. But look where Elian is, George. Elian's already in the B site. Nobody even knows because nobody's holding the site.
Do you ever look at something and wonder, how did it get there? Well, that's Elian currently. And
oh no!
How have they let this slip? How have they let this slip? With the AWP now watching into market, there is really limited chances for this retake to find any amount of success. The double peak will come in, but... okay. All right, we might be on for something now as Forrester does land out onto Malbs, but that's still going to leave it in a 2-on-2. XNS and PRT now both retaking from the same place. It's a one-dimensional retake. And inside the site, the first frag might be opened up to them, but Nickelback trades himself away. So Forrester, XNS, one-on-one. No real HP to speak of between the two of them. They're basically not split by much. XNS tries to circumvent, tries to go around, now taps the defuse, but Forrester's not falling for it. Pros do fake in this instance, as XNS realizes he's going to have to go for it shortly, but doesn't have the kit to supplement his frag, and that will leave Entropiq to find their 15th, and TeamOne still left struggling on this CT side, squandering their map pick here, Dan, at 15-6.
Well, this is sad.
Yeah.
There goes our predictions, George.
Whoopsie doodles. I never know. Maybe they've got something prepared for Dustin.
Maybe. Well, no, I mean, I was very specific with my prediction. I said TeamOne take Mirage, and then we'll have Entropiq with a 2 following. But this could set us up for a very quick 2-0 right now if Entropiq are able just to close this one down against this final gun round, and that's aggressive from Maluk. Dangerous, and he does pay the price. Crad and Forrester just gun him down in cold blood. No mercy.
Not really sure what Maluk was trying to do there, to be honest with you. I guess try and get ahead of the push from Entropiq, but I think his timing was ever so slightly off, and it didn't quite pan out for him. Already also, big damage actually inflicted to Malbs there as well. I'm not sure if that was from an HE grenade or a stray bullet through the wall. Either way, he's down as low as 17 HP. Oh, Elian, an uncharacteristic miss, but what are you doing leaping out into the site like that? Well, now Malbs has an opportunity. Information overload. So many frags to find and no time to grab them as Elian whips him down through the wall. Still down into a 4-on-3. The advantage maintained for the CIS squad. Now, These Orgs and M4s need to try and pinch this map out, make it feel as small as possible. But once again, look what's been left open. It's the B site. PRT desperately needing to turn his head on a swivel and find a couple of frags. But the flurry is not there as he only deals with Nickelback as Crad quickly dispatches with PRT. Now a second opportunity for Crad to get busy with Pesadeo inside the market. He has some assistance soon to come, but Forrester has made sure that's not going to be a problem, as it does look increasingly likely that 16 is on the cards here for Entropiq. XNS, all that stands between them and their first map victory. And there it is, the Russian and Kazakh squad take away the map pick of TeamOne. Well done, that shoots all of our predictions in the head.